Tell me about the day of the storm.
This is extremely dangerous now. That storm is heading our way.
Well, we was laying in bed about 3 o'clock in the morning. The wind woke us up. We got to looking in the living room, and the whole top of our mobile home was peeled open.
The problem right now is there's not cell phone service.
It just ripped it in half.
Water gushing in, and at daylight, a landslide coming.
I'm Jamie Bolt. Welcome to this special half hour of On Your Side Tonight. 6 months ago, Hurricane Helene ripped families apart, destroyed businesses, killed at least 106, and reset the course of history for a massive swath of the Appalachian Mountains in North Carolina.
Officials fear the number will only get higher. Everybody has lost everything.
For 2 months, I couldn't even cry.
After producing the documentary The Day the Lights Went Out in November, investigative reporter Naomi Coles and photojournalist Alex Leitala spent the winter following the storm's victims.
First major storm since Helene.
They're in a panic. They have nowhere to live. Their house is completely gone, and we're not seeing any trailers coming up the mountain.
You know, we need help.
For the thousands who lost their homes, housing took center stage. Now, as summer creeps over the mountains, coming in from the cold marks the end of a bitter winter, but the beginning of the long road back to a permanent home.
How long do you think it takes to fully recover?
I don't think you ever put things back the way they were.
Eggs too? Yes. 84 days today. We had the only electricity other than the hospital. Here we go. Well, we're serving breakfast, hot meal. At the beginning, we were doing 3 hot meals. Gravy on both eggs? Yes, sir. All right. At one point, in the early days, we were feeding 1,500 a day.
How does a pastor like yourself end up behind a food line every day?
Well, I think it's, I think you got to lead.
If it wasn't for Jesus in the empty tomb, we wouldn't have hope for tomorrow. My name is C.G. Dellinger, and I grew up in this church.
It's been almost 3 months since Helene hit. It seems like it's consumed your life.
I get anywhere from 10 to 50 phone calls a day.
That feels overwhelming.
It is overwhelming, but I thrive in chaos.
What are the biggest needs that you are seeing that need met in the community right now?
So depending on what their situation is, if it's a family that doesn't have a home, we're trying to get all those families in campers or in temporary shelter until we can get them either a rebuild or a new apartment or whatever that looks like for their situation. Every situation is different.
It's almost like the river took the skin off of the land. It just completely exposed new rocks and boulders. This was all living area here, and then my bedroom was up here. It came up all the way here. You can still see the water line on the glass here. It blew out these doors, it blew out the frame and everything, and just rushed in and filled the house. I'm not sure if I can ever be in here again. I don't know. What I have found is that home is in the people who have showed up and given unconditionally to serve people like myself.
Well, my name is Sylvie Langevin. I'm with Rise Disaster Relief and Recovery. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. We're based out of Concord, North Carolina. C.G. Dillinger from First Baptist Church has works with me very well, and she's giving me names of people that are needing campers. We've been blessed to connect with a gentleman named Bill St. Pierre. So he's using the money to buy campers, and he wanted to put them in the hands of a nonprofit that would vet them and make sure that they would go to the right people.
I'm the field executions director for RISE. Been with them, October? This is square bales wrapped in black tri-ash bags. It'll provide a really good cold air barrier.
It may be 6 months before people get back into their homes, but at least they will feel that there's hope, that now they have a stepping stone to the end result.
One of these days it could be my mom, or it could be me, or it could be my wife that needs something. So we're all in a place where we can help. So we just do.
So here's her situation. She got the initial payment out from FEMA with like $750 for that initial expenses. She got about $3,000 for some temporary housing assistance. She's been living with her sister out in Charlotte until this camper just came.
It's really such a fine camper.
I'm here on December 19th, so nearly 3 months since Hurricane Helene hit, and she's still waiting on the bulk of what she expects that she would be eligible for from FEMA, that roughly $42,000 payment to help restore all of this.
Every time I try to check the process, I call and I am put on hold, and then I'm put on hold with somebody else, and then they just say it's all pending.
There's thousands of cases that haven't been closed with FEMA. I know they're investigating. The additional challenge of a hurricane in the mountains is that there's no phone communications for many people, and they're not able to reach people, so they don't know exactly how to, so when they can't reach them, they just put the case on hold.
A post office in Micaville, and it just floated away. And so that's a loss that no insurance will pay for. And economically and personally, I'm wiped out.
What I really worry about is what it's going to look like come January, when Christmas is over.
Snow will be, again, transitioning in with sleet across the area, and then eventually even into...
If y'all don't care, I'm going to make a pit stop.
Yeah, that's
and just grab a can really quick.
Oh yeah, we'll probably have to study overtime a little bit to get everybody. But once somebody's lying before 5, we'll stay as long as it takes.
Because he's so expensive, so that's always an issue because of the cost. All the ones that we're going to are campers. The other one is at a campground, and they have electricity and sewer and water, but they still are using propane for their furnace. How are you?
Making it.
He said some American First called you guys.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
We gotta get the application.
Okay. Well, I'll be in touch next week. Okay. Once I hear from Erica.
Thanks so much, Teresa.
All right.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Nice to meet you. There's a real sense of fear everywhere that this storm could have the potential to knock out power and knock out water again and again.
For waking up with us. I'm Caroline Hick.
And I'm Alex Giles. Thank you for joining us.
We've been staying in Spruce Pine throughout this storm. And while there isn't a lot of inches of snow on the ground, the wind throughout the night, last night, was just horrendous. There are still hundreds of people who are living in temporary housing on friends' couches, in campers and RVs and trailers. And those are the people particularly impacted by this kind of storm.
We had that snow move out, and then eventually that transitioned over.
We went with CG to Teresa and Paul Marcus Friday afternoon before the storm. We're going back now Saturday morning to talk to Paul, Teresa's husband, get a little bit of their story, see how they made it through the night. He was telling me over the phone Teresa's not feeling that great.
It was cold in there. I mean, you can still see your breath.
Tell me about the day of the storm.
The whole whole top of her mobile home had peeled open, the water gushing in. Then at daylight, a landslide come, and it pushed the trailer off the foundation. It wasn't much, but I worked so hard to finally get a place to call home, and it's gone.
What do you want people off the mountain to know?
I want them to know that we're making it, barely, but we'll get by. If it wasn't for CG, we'd done been froze by now.
Paul Marcus also struggled to get financial help. He couldn't use the hotel that FEMA offered because it was much too far away. His long-term situation in January looked bleak. We'll see soon what it looks like now. I'm trying to get to the bottom of these questions. Why does it feel like so many people were left without government help, relying only on the goodwill of volunteers? And what does the state's progress look like today?
Our government has become big and bulky, full of policy.
There is a tremendous funding gap right now.
Governor, are you concerned that the federal money is not going to reach North Carolina quickly enough?
I don't know how much longer I'm gonna have.
North Carolina native, Appalachian State alum. So I live in Hickory, North Carolina. Grew up in Catawba County, born and raised.
County was in a flash flood warning.
Most of the states are in cleanup and recovery mode right now.
I was doing some major news media interviews that morning talking about Hurricane Helene and the potential impacts that were coming our way.
Brock Long has spent his entire career in disaster emergency response. He now leads his own company, helping local governments navigate federal disaster funding. He's got a few ideas of the systemic fixes to disaster response that need to happen at a national level, starting with his own first-hand experience as FEMA administrator.
Mr. Chairman, Madam Member, members of the committee, thank you. It's an honor to be here.
From 2017 to 2019, during my time there, I had over 220 different declared disasters and wildfires, so a new disaster every 3 days.
Brock, I want to thank you for the job. It's been incredible.
What does disaster reform look like to you?
To me, we got to streamline the system. I had to ask Congress 3 different times for more money into the Disaster Relief Fund. Congress granted those requests, but the money went to 30 different federal government agencies to fund 91 different recovery programs. How do we get away from 91 different recovery programs to maybe 2? One focused on people, one focused on infrastructure.
Over and over, we heard from people across Western North Carolina that it was volunteers helping in areas where some felt the government should have stepped in. Brock Long said that's in part what's working about the disaster response system.
One of the things that FEMA embraces is the non-governmental organizations active in disaster, the voluntary agencies active in disaster, from the Samaritan's Purses to the Team Rubicons to the American Red Cross. All of those organizations are tied into a national disaster response framework that FEMA helps to coordinate.
Where the river just took everything in its pathway.
A number of people who have told me, I had to call FEMA 4 times, I couldn't get anyone on the phone, they couldn't help me, I'm, left stranded, my claim is still pending. Why does that happen?
Part of the problem is that the way that FEMA has historically pushed out of saying, go register for disaster assistance, sets people up for failure, and that's got to stop. Honestly, what needs to happen is a change in that campaign of saying, register with FEMA for assistance if you are uninsured, if you are underinsured. People fall through the cracks. You got to remember that our government has become big and bulky, full of policy, and FEMA can't just go in and help everybody the way that they need to be helped because there are policies or laws getting in the way of them being able to help your unique need.
Brock Long often compares a working disaster response to the 4 legs of a chair. The seat is the community, and the 4 legs are personal preparedness, strong local government, FEMA, and finally, private infrastructure. One of the greatest failings is in how those pillars of response work together with private insurance. In Western North Carolina, more than 90% of victims didn't have flood insurance.
Insurance is the first line of defense. One of the bigger problems that we have to solve with Congress in this country, how do we get more access to insurance and work with primary insurance companies and reinsurers of America? And there's just this misunderstanding that FEMA can make you whole, but the system was never designed to do that.
They're making
making mortgage payments on homes that are not standing.
They don't exist.
And so
in early March, newly elected Governor Josh Stein made his 8th visit to Western North Carolina as governor.
I think our families need some help.
But what we want to do is by summertime have crews out here rebuilding homes, helping families get back on their feet.
Governor, are you concerned that the federal money is not going to reach North Carolina quickly enough?
We need the money now.
6 months after Helene hit, about 5,000 families are still using temporary government housing assistance. More than 5 million cubic yards of debris have been removed, and about 90% of the roads are repaired.
The Governor's Recovery Office for Western North Carolina, we are calling it GROW NC.
In January, Governor Josh Stein appointed Matt Calabria to lead a new state agency created specifically to manage the aftermath of Helene. Calabria says that federal funding delays have the potential to become a much bigger problem.
There is a tremendous funding gap right now, and there's also a time gap. So we need funds yesterday. We are every day making our case in Washington, D.C. for additional funding. There are billions in funds that Congress has already appropriated that, for one reason or another, have not been dispersed by the agencies in a way that North Carolina can utilize them.
Can you give me an example of that, where it's been appropriated but not sent, as in money is not in North Carolina yet?
The federal government has appropriated about $1.6 billion to North Carolina for federal relief through HUD. It's going to be some months before we are able to finally get that HUD money out. That's because of the federally required processes where we have to go through a public comment period, then we submit it. We know HUD is then going to review it, and it will be some weeks or months before they approve it, and only then can we start to launch the programs that utilize that funding.
There has been a lot of frustration with the federal government response, with FEMA's response. Now, you're not standing here for FEMA. Do you have a message, though, for people who do feel a bit left behind?
People are right to be frustrated. I think if you asked FEMA, they would say that they didn't do everything in the way that if they were able to do it over, that they would do it in the same way. We're frustrated too, and our job at GROW NC and as state leaders generally is to make sure we remove every possible roadblock.
In the last 3 months since we last saw you, the needle has not moved much on those FEMA claims.
No. I haven't gotten anywhere with it.
So today is much different than it was when we first met.
Yeah, I'm scared.
This is our third trip back. We're checking in on Katie Carlin and Paul Marcus after meeting them months earlier this winter. C.J. Dellinger from First Baptist Church has spent a long winter helping folks just like them.
See you. What a beautiful day. So our winter was really rough here this year. We had a lot of ice storms, a lot of snow. People who are in campers are still in campers. There are houses being rebuilt every day. There's groups, Baptists on Mission, Samaritan's Purse, some local organizations, RISE, Disaster Recovery. They're all doing work every day. But it's still a slow process because there's so many that were impacted.
Thank you. They denied both of us.
Just recently had a heart attack Monday, and they diagnosed me. Well, they said my heart was 30%, so I don't know how much longer I'm gonna have. I'd love to have a place for them.
We have continued to pay for their rent at the camper. The property that Paul and Teresa Marcus are on now is not looking like it's going to be suitable for them to move back to, so we are going to have to essentially find them somewhere else. We got some good news this week, so hopefully that's going to happen sooner than later.
What happened to the camper? What's been your living situation this winter?
So I've stayed with family and friends. Sylvie called me with RISE, the nonprofit, and there was a family that really was in need. They lost everything, and so she called and asked if I was willing to give them the camper, and of course I was.
In the last 3 months since we last saw you, the needle has not moved much on those FEMA claims.
No. It's been in a holding pattern, really, for the last 6 months almost. They want a heating and air inspection. They want a septic inspection and a well inspection. They put like $318 in the account to have those inspections. I mean, this is rural. So it's really challenging to get anybody out here.
So there's a lot of inspections that have to be done. I know the inspection offices are just slammed.
I just want them to know that we're still fighting.
It still looks like a war zone in a lot of areas.
The trauma, it's like melting down as a piece of ice. All of a sudden, the grief of what you've lost, it begins to come up into your consciousness.
Thousands across the Appalachian Mountains are still in holding patterns like Paul and Katie. But with the spring does come some hope, a new legislative session, and the passage of another $500 million in relief funds that have now been signed into law. But 6 months in, the long road to come in from the cold is just beginning.